All right,
Let me know if you can see my screen.
let me pull it up right now. All right, yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, so this week was a pretty good week. Um, Coming into the week on November, I just really wanted to just have a green day. Wanted to just make sure I was green so I can follow through on this. Just close out November the best that I could because it was a red month for me. You see, I finished with negative 33. But then coming into that Tuesday, we had the opportunities for dip buys with ENZC and TSMP. And both I've will most definitely say I could have played better on, especially on TSMP. Pull up trade stuff. So you see ENZC on the right hand side. It's been a multi-day runner. It had its breakout. I wasn't able to capitalize on this front side of the move, but what I was looking for was that front first red day. And like what I've been saying is for the past couple of weeks is I wanted to hit my lines and just be very disciplined. That's pretty much what it really came down to. Just be disciplined in where I enter and try to get my best exits. So this 11.6, it hit my 30 line. I'm gonna put it up. So my 30 would be 823. So I got past there. Whenever it gets past the 30 line, that's when my eyes light up. Time to attack. Right here, we hit the 30 line, and then you see we have that small little bounce. This one, I wasn't expecting this second bounce, but I wrote it on this first small bounce. Because even though it doesn't look much like on the chart, but from a percent standpoint and a percent range standpoint, it did offer a good amount of range if you were meticulous and hit the trade right. And on this, you see I bottom ticket right here at almost I'll say 0.066, then sold. Let me see exactly where I sold. 0.0656 and sold at 0.0735, made 11%, which was a smooth, cool trade. But then the next trade that I made with TSP, I made a mistake on. Even though it was green on the trade, I should have been. I want to be even more prepared for the trade because this is the type of trade that can really stand out in your month. And for me to only make 350, like don't get me wrong, it's cool, but there was so much opportunity left on the table if I was to completely follow my game plan. You see, on the first, we finally had first red day after this big OTC beautiful run every single day, and we finally get that red day. We topped off at 24.3, come down to that 3 line. So my entry on this stock was bottom ticket almost. I actually got not bottom ticket, but almost bottom ticket. I got it in at 15.2, and I sold for 16.9. But I thought I was doing something. But that's the point in where I was just coming back today, just knowing that this has been a straight down panic, like nothing but red candles. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 red candles in a row. Normally, especially when it's the first red day and the panic has been so smooth, I can expect more range on the bounce and for it to be less choppy because it's an ideal type A type penny. And I didn't. I just kind of set just a standard price target. Like, all right, I'm going to make 10% and I'm out. And don't get me wrong, taking profits at 10%. There's nothing wrong with taking profits at 10%. But on plays like this, I just want to personally be able to scale out more, like because I track the data and the stats behind these OTC panics. So normally on a bounce, if it goes down, let me bring up stat sheets. This day. See, it panicked 38% and it bounced 47%, and I only took 10% of that 47% bounce.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, just knowing the stats behind it and knowing that if it panics 30%, which is the average is every panic is about 33%. That's why I love that 30 line, and the average bounce is 35%. So knowing that the average bounce is about 30%, the average panic is 30%, I need to use that as a statistical advantage as well,
Right.
and not just locking everything at 10. Maybe just lock in at 10 and 20, or maybe like 10 and 25, but just getting out of that mindset of just locking it in at 10. Really want to let that chart form and guide where I take the profits. Oh, there's that one. My red trade for the week, HYSR. I tried to play it as the first green day. I thought this one would work, but I mean, you're gonna be wrong sometimes. But the important thing about this one was just I really was disciplined in cutting my losses. I did get undisciplined on this trade, which I do want to talk about. Was it this one? No, it wasn't this one. It was TSNP on the other day, but I'll get into it. But HYSR, I tried to play it as the first green day. The reason I tried to play it as the first green day is because it hit a high of 24.9. This one was running just along with every other one of them, where it had a big run and all the way to 24.9. And it almost got, on this first red day, it was down about 50-something% off of its highs. And just from tracking OTC first green day bounce plays, they normally bounce when they are finishing red on the day, on the previous day. And then the next day they come green if the stock has been down about 50-something% and hasn't shown any signs of bouncing. So I tried to play it on the second day. Nothing too crazy about the trade. I entered in at, I could have been more meticulous in my entry, I would say, but I mean, there's nothing. I came in with a plan and then I cut it when it happened. So I entered this trade right here at 708, and my plan was to cut if it hit under this low, which was 0.069, and it cracked under 0.069, so I sold. But that is what I'm talking about risk management. Like, see, all my winners have been 400, 300, loser 100. That's smooth. That's ideal. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the goal of the trade. Then we had SEGI, which was another. It was just a whole lot of opportunities, to be honest. Another runner, where this one came out with news saying Amazon news, blah blah, whatever. But we had that on this first day. I know I couldn't kill. I didn't on the first red day that it actually had. Well, I'm gonna count this first red candle as the first red day, where it finished down on the day. I didn't play it at all. I just missed it. But on the second day, I actually played it, even though it was less ideal. I was actually playing it for a bounce, uh, not for a bounce, but for a first Green Day, and we didn't get that. But my plan still worked out anyway in my favor, with it just being I wanted to see where it would panic, and because I knew that this stock had range, I wanted to. Because I knew that this stock had range, when it panicked down, I wanted to sell into that the first action that it gave me, because I knew it wasn't going to panic super down, like give like a super massive panic, because it finished like 50%, almost 60% off on that previous day. So I wasn't expecting for a very large panic the next day, but when the gate showed me some weakness, it gave me a good opportunity to buy. I sold right into the first fight, and it was a nice little single. Then TSMP, I messed up again. No, I didn't mess up on this day. No, I did mess up on this day. Yeah. TSMP, another one, gave me another opportunity where I sized up on this trade because I knew it was ideal, but I wasn't. I messed up on this trade as well because on my chart, you see, I was a bit early in entering my position on the panic. Right here, I hit my average was 1009, and I was just almost a minute, like seconds too early. It hit time in the bottom, and I saw the level 2 starting to form. That's the reason I didn't sell at the bottom. But I wasn't able to hold conviction because I knew that my risk reward was screwed. Because I knew that if this stock was to panic again, I wouldn't be willing to cut a loss at where at this bottom at where bottom at, which was 1002. I would have had to cut at 1006. I think not 1006, but 1004 ish. And because I had size, I just wasn't willing to see that, so I just took a very small loss. I mean, small gain, instead of seeing it through and maybe selling at 13, which would have been a nice little trade. But just mistimed this bottom. That can be easily fixed. Just making sure I wait for it to see massive size on the level 2 before entering. I was trying to be a little bit quick because I knew a whole lot of people were watching this stock. So, yeah. Good and bad because I knew not to sell at the bottom because I knew it was already panicked out a lot. But bad because see it for the bigger picture and for what the stats were showing me is that when these things bounce, they bounce 30% or more. Well, at least 30% on average. So, for me to only, I didn't get in at the bottom of the 30, at the bottom, so my risk reward was screwed, but there was still meat on the bone for me because the overall pattern still was intact. My worst trade, yeah, and it comes to this one. On the, I wouldn't even say this was a worst trade. It was just a losing trade, but
It happens, so.
it was just impatient, which was the day I played TSMP on this OTC first Green Day, and I broke even on it. And I think I was talking about this the day before, where I was just like, I'm looking for it to be the OTC first Green Day. But I just wasn't patient enough. Just messing up just on my risk reward, just trying to be early for a position. And as you can see right here, chart I entered in right here at 14.7 and sold almost towards the bottom. But in an ideal world, this is supposed to be where I'm entering because right here at the bottom, lower day, that offers the best risk reward. And I just got too excited right here. I'm entering full size right here and having to sell because I wanted to respect my rules of not taking a big loss for no reason. but I did enter in again, and I pretty much just broke even on the whole day because of it. Entered right here at Fort Living, risking off this low because it finally set a higher low, gave me a good place to risk, a very defined place to risk off of. And even if it broke this 1437, because this thing was under VWAP, I knew that if it was to break under 1437, that would be my risk just because of the fact that at the time this was under VWAP, and I knew if it got made a new like lower low, it would be time to good out. But still some bad in this trade because I didn't have much size on the trade. Because one thing I do, and I am conscious about, and I like that I'm doing this, is that after in the morning, if I take a losing trade right after the gate, I automatically size down no matter what because I just feel like, okay, you don't want to keep losing and losing and losing losing at the same pace or taking the same size loss. You know what I'm saying? You lost once, so size down. So if you lose again, it'll be a smaller loss.
Gotcha. What about for wins? Like if you win in the morning and in the afternoon, do you still keep the same size or do you size down as well?
It depends on the setup. So OTC first 3 days, I have been being a bit more aggressive on because like I just been tracking them, so I just feel more comfortable with them. So that's pretty much it. I will. It just depends on the setup. Like, but a breakout. If a breakout is happening, I will definitely like size down just because I'm still. Even though I track them, I'm still not as comfortable as I should be real time in the trade.
Right.
I guess because I told you about that. I'm just not setting a wide enough risk on them. But anyway, I took profits. I bought right here at 14.7. Tried to sell some off at 15.2-ish. Ended up getting a 15.1 average. Not too bad of sales, but in reality, I knew that the minimum that I should be taking profits again on this setup is 10%, and I took profits right here at 5% just because of this loss that I took in the morning. But I did end up just selling like half right here and then half at 10. So I mean, it's just pick my poison. It was just break even day.
So what? How do you? Oh, go ahead.
What were you going to say?
No, I was gonna say. So how do you set up in the morning? Like, what's your process?
Process for the morning?
Yeah, for the morning of because you like even in the chat, like you're on it and you're so precise as far as to what you're trading, what you're looking at. Then how do you go about like executing all of that?
So I guess it starts from a whole lot of pre-planning. Whenever I'm trading a stock, I'm usually looking at it from the day before, or I'm thinking about it like I think about this junk all the time. So I'm thinking about every type of situation that can occur in the stock when it like before it can happen. So if I know, like let's say, like I'm gonna go back to TSMP because that's the best example of an opportunity that there was. So I knew that it had this massive run up from this day, and this finally finished kind of slow on this day, from the 27th going into the 30th on this first red day. So because I knew it had multiple green days, 1, 2, 3 green days, actually 4 green days in a row, I'm expecting a reversal, and that's just how I think. I guess that's just because of the temp cycles and the framework that's just been taught and installed into my head. And when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking just nothing about. I'm only thinking about just the red day, especially because it's so overextended. When it comes to other plays, I'm just always looking at former runners, looking at key levels, setting price targets at when I want, like when something is going to happen, I'm always trying to just be in tune with the market and what's going on within, and just just really trying to be in sync with the market. Yeah, it really just comes down to just game planning. To be honest, I'm thinking about every scenario that can come into my head and using my statistical edge in that scenario. So if my statistical edge is met on that day, then I gives me the confidence to say, hey, all right, I'm attacking right here. I've seen this happen, seen that, been there before. Let's do it. It just comes down to me. Really, my problem right now is just being emotional within that trade and trying to see it for the whole bigger picture and the whole range that it gives me. But it just comes down to a whole lot of pre-planning.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then then there was just CBD, which on Friday, which kind of that was a surprise for me too. I guess another thing that I do in the morning too is I just stopped expecting things to happen. I just really want to react. Like my process in the morning has been, I kind of made a little tweaks in just how I prepare. Like every morning I wake up at 7-ish. Wake up at 7. I start reading a book for about, I don't know, from about 7 to, not 7 to, from, I'll start reading at 8-ish, and then I'll finish at 9. Then I'll get into my zone, because I literally treat trading like I'm playing a sport. I'll get into my zone. You know how you play basketball before, so I'll listen to some music beforehand. I'm just like, all right, this is, and I'm thinking about everything that can happen when I'm before the market opens.
Mm-hmm.
Then right, like 5 minutes, I'll turn my music off and I'm locked in pretty much. I don't treat that's why I don't treat it just for the money. It's I told you I playing for the statistical edge and trying to beat the game, even though I know the game can't beat me. But CBD was really cool. I played it for a first bounce. So it also offered a good dip buy, which that was just like, I wasn't even expecting it, but I knew that it would be a good opportunity to buy right there. But anyway, CBD, it had weed was running on Friday because the legalization news. So people were been buying this from when it was sub penny, and it got really overbought. Probably hitting a high of 0.0328. So, but I didn't hit it on that 328. But I bought it right on this dip because it did nothing but spike in the morning. I didn't catch this bottom because it just happened too quickly. But I still paid attention to it and I wanted to risk I wanted to just give it another chance because I knew that this stock was really it was the hot stock of the day, or how in MIT they say the hot chick of the day. In OTC land, this was the hot chick of the day in that time span of 9:30 to 11. So that's what I wanted to pay attention to because it offered the most range. It was up freaking from its lows. It was up almost thousands of %. So it gave me a whole lot of range with the stock. But anyway, I entered this stock in at 251. So this was another cool thing about being very meticulous in your entries. Like when you have good entries, time is on your side, and your risk is you're doing great on your risk. The most that I would lose on this trade was $10 because I probably lose a little bit more because of slippage, But if it got under that .025 mark, I would have cut my loss because my thesis wasn't valid.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it said like I could basically risk $10 for my plan to gain 300, like that's easy money to me. And the thing it gave me a panic dip buy and panic dip buy opportunity. And the reason I kept looking at it too was just because I saw that ACB said ACB was the leader of the day, but ACB was weak. It wasn't trading any volume on that day compared to what it really needed to, have a significant day.
Right.
You see on the days where it traded 400 million, and then on this day it was supposed to be the secular leader, but it only traded 100 million. It needs to at least trade above the average. I would say at least 190 to 200 million for some action to really start. And because that started fading, CBDs was getting weak, so I played it on this dip. And another thing, off the highs, it was a very easy trade for me to make because it was down 30%, so my eyes lit up, and I was just like, okay, it's coming. It's not. It's either going to touch 2 and bounce, or not. And I thought it was going to touch 2, but I had my limit order way above just because I was just playing it strictly off the level 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had it at .024. The fact that it was already off of that .0229 area, so when it got under 3, I was just like, all right, cool, I'm playing it. The level 2 stacked up perfectly. It didn't on the bounce. I only got filled a partial position, but yeah, only 100,000 shares, and I tried to get 150, but I mean the bounce was crazy. And when it gave me such a big bounce like this, I knew not to play with it. I was just like taking profits.
Yeah.
Because it literally bounced 17. I was just like, man, I'm not about to play with it. Like,
yeah.
I'm like 17. Hey, I'm good.
Yeah, especially if it happened so fast too.
Yeah, I was just, the fact that it happened so fast too made me scared. Just like, all right, a whole lot of people are going to be selling if they get the bottom of this. But did have another green candle up there, but I mean, I sold right there, and I got locked in another 100. But that was my week. A lot of plays that I missed though, like Z-Nog. I want to bring that up. Like I just completely missed it, and I kind of upset about that one. Because I had watching it, but on the day first red day that it happened, TSNP was going on. It was so many other tickers that was going on, and I knew that if I was like able to short this stock, I would most definitely be following this one. But it gave almost a 50% panic, not 50%, a 40% panic, all the way down to 96 cents. Sweet little bounce. And this is one of those rare cases where I will trade midday because it just gave such amount of panic, and you see that big old red volume candle that signifies maximum selling. So this would have been a good place to dip by, in my opinion. But other than that, that was it.
Well, we got HTZ GQ coming up next week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I told you about that one.
It's crazy, like how it bounced.
I told you that 225, I would have been short right here, and then I was so because it's still green on the day. Yeah. They've been moving so like similar too. Like they before they crash, like they'll have a little mini panic where that give you an opportunity to short cover. The cover right around 215 anywhere over here if you rate it. But then it'll gap up the next day. Like it'll gap up the most amount it will. And maybe it'll hold green on Monday, maybe it won't. But definitely on Tuesday, I know there's a high probability of it going red.
Yeah, because more likely what I'm going to try to do is play, if it gets to 240, I'm going to start scaling up from there. because that's where
Yeah.
a lot of the consolidation was done. Where it did that 1 billion in what was it, like a few last month? Did
Yeah, but I don't know if that'll play in effect because that was when it was on Nasdaq. I wonder if this thing could get above three though. That'll be crazy.
I mean, really, the higher the better. Like because I want to
Yeah.
do at least 5K share. Like if I'm shorting it.
I need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Alright, I'm about to stop my screen share. Because of the losing month too. I took that, like Jordan said, I took it personally.
Man, but that's what's up though. Like with the overall month that you're having so far. For me,
Yeah, like I've already pretty much beat my best month ever.
hey, and that's all you need. Just to start off like that, and you just built from there.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, this actually been a frustrating, a real frustrating week. How do I get out of here? And the reason why it's been frustrating is because I had actually reduced my size for the last 2-3 weeks, and of course the day that I decided to size up on, that's the day I took some pretty nasty losses. But overall I was able to mitigate it and get it down to a reasonable losing day. But nonetheless, I'm gonna go over some of the trades that I did. Um, I think TSNP, that was a pretty good trade. And for me with TSNP, I did small size again because with this I only did 5,000 shares. So that wasn't really a whole lot. And the whole reason why I shorted TSNP was because it was making the first red day. So let me TSNP. Why would the jump look like
I'm surprised those shares was free.
Yeah, like once I saw it was free, I was like, bet, say less.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, that thing was free, so I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and hop on. I don't know why my joint look like this. I do something. All right, let me do the 1 year. I'll figure this out later. All right, so TSMP, just had this massive run, and I was just really just waiting for the first time it goes red. I mean, this was a simple textbook first red day short, and the only thing that I did was on this day here, I believe. Yep, on this day, I waited because I didn't even I seen it started going, but I was thinking like, okay, this is gonna go maybe bounce, and next time is gonna go red. But once I saw this thing punch through to this red green line, I decided to go short, and the action on it was so smooth to the point where I was able to bottom tick it right here on a level 2 because the stacking action was just like perfect. And once I saw the stacking action, I was like, yep, time for me to get out. So I got out right here, bottom ticked it. Then on this bounce, matter of fact, you know who
Man.
you alerted. You said
Man. Don't get me started.
You're like, yeah, you should probably go short right around here. And at first I was like, man, I don't even want to risk. I think I made like maybe like $300 on this little dip here.
Yeah, the small size.
Yeah, with small size. I was like, man, I kind of want to keep my little $300. So I at first I was like, man, I don't want to trade it, but then I saw like it started pulling back. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is about to go red again. So I shorted it. I was thinking that it was gonna have maybe another bounce right here. Not another bounce, but another flush to around this area. So on the first candle that I saw, it was trying to punch back green. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just get out. So I got out, but eventually it did, end up fading and getting down to this level here. But this was just like stress-free textbook. I know this is a 5 minute 5 minute chart, but like on the 1 minute, it was like, when I mean textbook perfect, it was just like boom, 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 and there was no sign of it turning until it got here. So that was a nice, easy trade. Another thing too that I've been noticing has been happening. It was.
Yeah, I bought your shoes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
Shoot, I'm surprised you didn't try to dip my too. Cause man, if I could short too, I'll be trying to be a man.
see, that's the thing. I didn't have my E-Trade account pulled up. So by the time all this happened, I was like, man, I missed.
Late.
Yeah, I was like, man, I missed a perfectly good dip buy, because this is like, this was like perfect. Straight green candles, and the first red candle, sign to get out. But overall, this was like in a long time I haven't seen like a good flush like this and a good bounce like this.
Yeah.
So definitely a stock to keep on the watch. Hopefully it keep going higher. I think what did it finish up with? Did it break out again?
Finished kind of weak. Nah, finished kind of weak.
Finished kind of okay. Hey, another.
I'm still watching it though.
Yeah, another red day.
And yeah.
So I'm gonna keep my eyes on it for next week as well too, because I said I want to get back into OTC, but I really been just focusing more on Nasdaq plays and trying to perfect like what I've been learning as far as with Nasdaq. Another trade. PPSI. I think this was pretty good as far as with the Nasdaq buying it. With this, I went small size, only 300 shares. But one thing I've been noticing. Let me get a full time PPSI. Let me put my indicators. The stocks, and this is what I drew initially to help me out with the trade. The stocks that I see that they're in pre-market, that are in an uptrend and that are not breaking down and continue that gradual uptrend, those stocks tend to perform really well in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, it tend to have like a, this attempt to break hive days. So one thing that I am starting to look for more is like, wait till the afternoon. If the stock is still like trending right around VWAP and it still looks like like it's not broken. And what I mean by broken is like if you're looking at the chart from this point of view, like there's a broken chart. Like you can see the clear trend is just downwards. But looking at it from the morning standpoint, this is the lens that I saw the stock was in right around here. So looking at a stock like this from this lens, it's like, okay, this stock is not broken. There's the low of days, and it's still constantly making a little higher lows on the chart. And one big indicator for me is, and this is for me just to play it as safe as possible, I like to wait for the stock to be above VWAP. If it's not above VWAP, because I hate longing. I don't trust the stocks. I'm
So
more
I don't trust none of these.
yeah,
I'm
cause
telling you, bro, long and under VWAP, as long as you got risk reward and it sets a higher low, like that's it.
yeah,
It just comes down to the price action,
yeah. But for
and
me,
there's more range for your move too.
right. But for me, it's just like more comfort level. So I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna put VWAP as far as like my, or normally if it's not VWAP, it'll be like the one of the dips. And I think on this particular one, I had 524. And another reason why I like this stock is anytime that I see moves like this little death candle right here, like it just had so many times that it did that. It'll start going up, then boom, start going up again, boom. So I'm very cautious when it comes to stocks like this. And there it is again. It just start. It'll have like these nasty dip because the dip was from 561 and it got all the way to 516. I mean that's like a 50 cents down move, especially if you have size. You could lose a lot. So with this, I decided to go small, 300 shares, because if it did have a nasty wick like this, with 300 shares, that's not the end of the world for me. Um, so all right, so just to paint the picture, once I saw that this stock got above VWAP, and the reason why I didn't get it when it went above VWAP here is because anytime a stock go below VWAP, the first time that it goes above VWAP, I don't want to touch it. I want to see a second time. So the second time that it went above VWAP, especially how fast this dipped below it, because you got to think about shorts. A lot of shorts like the short stocks that's below VWAP. So it's VWAP. If it's below VWAP, a lot of shorts like to get in. The fact that it went above VWAP then below, then it did this little double bottom-ish thing right here and got above it. To me, that was a bullish indicator. So I got in right here. And the goal for me was to try to sell as close to 6 as possible. And shout out to Donut, because he know me as well as Rocky know me. Like when I get in the stock and it start going my way, a lot of time I just like to sell the whole thing. But they were like, nah, just take a piece off, take a piece off. So I've been doing that. It's been working kind of well.
yeah. I took that from Donut too.
Yeah.
Work. When it works, you just like you be so happy.
Exactly. Like, man, let me lock this in. So as soon as it had this little nice little rip up, I think I took half off right here. Then I saw it start pushing towards 6, and 6 was the goal for me, only because it was right around like the 609 was high day, so I know 6 plays as like a psychological resistance. So, and sure enough, it got. I don't even think it touched 6, but it got close to 6. But I sold at the first piece at 580, then the other one was like 593 or something like that. And that was it for the trade. So the next one, and that was on Friday, I had another one that oh, this one I actually took a little bit size. CRON. And the same thing for this, had that up move. The trend itself, it looks, it's an uptrend in stock. It's above VWAP. Weed stocks was in play. So the first time I tried to take it, and I was just following ACB like the whole day. And the way that I play these sector move, once I identified the leader, which was ACB, like as ACB goes, that's the way typically the sector goes. And there was like this, and I like playing the laggards because they give you time to be able to react. So with ACB, it was like chopping around. I think it had when I sold here, it had this massive pullback. Like it ended up going red or something like that. Well, not red. It went under VWAP. So since I saw it went under VWAP, I was like, yeah, this might be it for it. So I hurry up and sold for like break even on this trade. But then it quickly recovered and it went above VWAP and it was trading above VWAP. So once I saw that I was trading above VWAP and it stayed above, even though that this, because normally if I'm in a trade like this and this goes below VWAP, I'm looking to get out. But since ACB was the leader and that one was still above VWAP and trending, so this little flush didn't scare me out, so I just stayed in. And it flushed again, it didn't scare me out. Then all of a sudden, ACB just started going. Once I saw ACB started going, the only regret that I have on this, because I actually had time right here to be able to add in more. I think with this trade, I had like maybe 3,000 shares, and that was the day that I sized up because I think I was down maybe like I was down 1,300 at the time of this trade, but I had confidence in ACB. The fact that it was ripping. Once that started ripping up, then this, took its time, and it finally started ripping as well. So I just sold half of this. So like started selling a portion, and eventually I end up getting the top. And of course, I think on the last sale I saw that ACB started flushing down. So once I saw that started flushing down, I was like, yeah, let me just go ahead and sell the remaining ones. And it probably took, and I probably should have went short on there because, like I said, this was like delayed to what ACB was doing. Once it started flushing, it took it maybe another minute or two before this started going down. But I was just so happy that I climbed out of the hole because I was down 1,300, and I think on that day I only ended up losing like maybe $500, which is more manageable. 1,300 is manageable, but I don't like being down on the day more than $1,000. So this really really saved me on there, and I'll show you the trade of what I sized in on and how I messed up. I think it's on trade view, and here it is right here. Lost $519. CATB. Matter of fact, it was between NAOV. So NAOV was one of those trades that I try to get in during pre-market, and normally this works out well, but in my case of what I was doing, it did not. And I'll explain to you what I saw and what I thought was gonna happen. I guess it don't show pre-market, does it?
You try to go short.
Yeah, I tried to short it. All right, I guess it don't show pre-market.
Yeah, no, show pre-market.
Okay, so let me. So this was a classic bounce short, and this is how I messed up on it. So looking back on, let me clear this up a little bit. If you want. All right. So back on, what date was this? On 9/22, this had 220 million in volume. So with it having 220 million in volume, and this stock on this particular day was gapping up, I figured that here it is here. So I had my lines already drawn in, and I just started just shorting, at each one of my lines. What I messed up on was the sizing. Okay, because normally for me, if I'm gonna trade pre-market, I want to trade a stock that is broken, not uptrend. Even though if it's a bounce short, I want to because instead of what I started doing, I was shorting on the way up. versus letting the stock go up from the top, then come down and attempt to, try to bounce again to the top and then start fading. That way I have a better risk reward. These lines just represent all the bounces that the stock had on 922. But since the stock was uptrending and also the pre-market volume was like massive, so the rule of thumb for me is, which I didn't follow, like I broke a lot of rules on that day, and that's why I was down so much. So the rule of thumb for me, if I'm gonna trade it as a bounce short, if it's doing 220, if it had 220 million in volume on the day of the day that it faded and had the big volume day, whatever it does pre-market, I would have to multiply that by 10 to see whether or not if this is going to be a good fit. So I started shorting this. This was like 7, like not even 8 o'clock yet, and it already did 7 million in volume. So that should have just been an indicator for me, like, bro, it's not even 9:30 yet. You know,
Out, man.
yeah, it's not even 9:30 yet, and it's already at 7 million in volume. More likely, by the time if volume continue, more likely this is gonna do more than 20 million before the market open, which it did. I think it did right around 23 million before the market opened, just all in pre-market. So that was one of my mistake. Second mistake was you're shorting way too early. Around 7 o'clock, like
Yeah, bro. Like what?
yeah. Because normally, if I'm shorting these plays, I would at least wait till about 9. That way we have 30 minutes before the market open. I know stuff still could happen between 9 to 9:30. Um, but I didn't wait. I was shorting way too early, and not only was I shorting way too early, I was shorting with not massive size, but I was shorting with enough size to be able to get hit. One thing that I did do well was cut the loss. I think I lost like $300, like right out the gate before the market opened. All right, and here's my orders, and I was doing it like 500 at a time. So I lost $312 on that particular trade. And once I lost that and I saw the volume, then my thesis was blown out of the water. So it's not that play. So I just took this off my watch completely. So I didn't even go back and try to trade it again. I should have, because based upon this drawing that I did during pre-market, and it's crazy like how the lines just work perfectly. You know,
Took me a perfect long right there.
yeah, like it perfect long right here. Then once it get backside right here, I could short it based upon this spot because it never crossed over this little trend line that I drew during pre-market. And every time it goes up, it crossed a little bit, but it wicked out.
In hindsight,
Yeah.
hindsight is its own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I started off my day. So I was down 312 bucks. So the next trade that I took was Cat B. I think that's what it was. Cat B. So with Cat B, this was a first
Did
day.
you take the same amount of size that you did?
Nah, I actually doubled it.
My God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting everything back.
Yeah, so this is what I need to get. This is what I need to do better at. Let me go to it. So, reason why I was trading this stock was because it was broken pre-market. And a couple of mistakes that I made on this trade is, there it is right here. Let me put the view up. All right, so coming in the pre-market, this stock, you know, started going up. Then you have the downtrend. So I had already figured that right around here. Let me draw it. This was the
Or, we should start. We should start tracking data behind these setups, like because that would benefit you a whole lot. Because I feel, do you actually like do you know what I'm doing? Like, you track the data behind like the broken chart.
I started and I haven't kept up on it. Let me see if I can
You have
pull
to
it.
keep up on it,
Yeah,
right?
I definitely do gotta keep up on it.
Because I'll join you in like trying to track it as well. Because eventually, I'm gonna move to the Nasdaq. I don't know when, but you know, it's a long game.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. Like I just need it because even this week I didn't do a good job as far as like cropping out my trades and stuff like that, and,
Uh,
and just getting like my entries and exit. What's the thing called again? Excel. What's the Google Excel thing called?
just go to your
Oh, there it is, right?
no,
Google
what is
Sheets.
it?
Cause I actually been tracking. I stopped tracking Alex's trades. Like where he entered at. You know, what was the news? What was the float? I need to go back to doing that. And these are some of the data that I got that I've been doing. See, last time I did was
Sure, you can't.
12.
Don't track your data though. Like, you got my entry, my exit. You need to track the whole entire, like, what the picture is giving you every single time. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Where's
Right,
the major points on the chart? Yeah.
right. No, I got him here. Like, how much it was down with. Like
Yeah.
the ones that I did my entry is if I traded it versus like how much
Okay.
like how much I left on the table or like where I got in, where I got out. Like how much did it flush down from where I got in? Like I'm trying to get my entries and exits down to a
Point.
T, yeah.
Yeah.
And did even on this I had it did it do the zombie or not somewhere. But yeah, last time I look, that was last month on the 12th. And I had the news, opening change, got fade from the high, pre-market high, pre-market volume, float, day in the move, morning spike, open.
Yeah, you just gotta stay consistent and add more variables.
Yeah, cause I thought like at first like man I got this now.
Nah, there's always something that, like,
Yeah,
even with me, I'm just like, what can I add?
yeah. But yeah, I just need to be more consistent with that. Like yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, but with this, um, had this right here as like kind of like the death line. So once it passed this, um, it shouldn't. And I already felt like really unease like in the morning when it came to that stock because like my plan, what I just did, my plan for it was like okay if this stock reclaims this on my first entry, I should automatically get out of it. That was my train of thought. Like my starter entry was like, okay, if this because I had it at 190, I think I got in like 194 something like that, and I was like, with my start I did 1,000. Normally for the low hanging like first days, if it's under VWAP, I could go in with a little bit more size, like up until VWAP. But if once it crossed VWAP, I got a size now. That I didn't do. Like I got my first entry here, and instead of just doing it line to line, I double dipped like right around here. I got in, then it did this little red candle. Like, oh, it's finally it's starting to work. Got in again, but I didn't let the candle form though. And that's another thing too that I need to be more mindful of. Letting the candles form after it forms, then you know work on it. And what I should have did is after I got in the second time is really sized down because now I'm breaking what I had in mind. Because overall, it still should have been a good trade as far as like my losses to be mitigated. Because I had my first entry was to be here, second entry was to be here, third entry would have been right here with this as a stop out. But instead, I just let it keep piling up because I should have. The first cut should have been once it passed this death line because technically, if it passed the death line, then this is no longer considered a valid line because once it passed the death line, this is no longer a death line. Um, so I should have cut it here, didn't do it. Instead, I just started adding more size. Then eventually did this and had this pullback, and I had a chance to get out for like I want to say like a maybe like two or $300 loss right here, but I thought it was gonna finally start working for me. But then once I saw it started going back in here, so I was like, "Yep, let me just go ahead and get out." I got out. No, I'm sorry. I thought it was working for me on here, and I was like, "Yep, let me go ahead and get out." So I got out here. Then this thing started flushing up, and I double dipped again right here on this red candle right here because I thought it was gonna do a higher low. I got in, I think like 3,000 shares or 4,000 shares right here. And of course, it started going up again. Once I saw it past like the 230s, I got out again. So I did. So that $1,000 loss on that particular trade was actually two trades into one. Uh, so it was like two trades into one. So this is me scaling up here. Boom, boom. Got in again. Cut it here. And got in again thinking it was going to go down. But nope. Once it broke past this, then I got out again. So that was like my worst loss this month, especially with my other trades where I've been going small in and I've been seeing like really good results. So for this week, my main focus is to try to stick to the process. Just stick to the process 100%.
Yeah, stick to a standard size too.
Yeah.
On every setup until you got to earn your size. There was a video that Tim Grittani was talking about like he took like 10 months to size up.
and I probably do need to do that.
Yeah, for brand new traders or relatively new traders, just be so aggressive in the sense of I need to make money. You don't, but not knowing that the more size you take, the more you just saying the more I'll lose, the more I'm willing to lose.
Right. Yeah, and the crazy thing about it, like too, is when I like taking size, like we really don't need to take size. Because just seeing like with the and just looking at my stats with the results that I had for the last couple of weeks. Let's see. Still trying to get used to this.
What you trying to pull up?
Trying to pull up the calendar that I had up.
Go to, I think, yeah.
Trades.
Maybe it's journal.
Journal, yeah.
in this reports view. Yeah, and then calendar is right over there.
It's not pulling it. Oh,
But you just have CBait on there on the top. That's why it's only showing one thing.
oh, gotcha. Okay. All right, there it is. Like, yeah, just with like Tuesday, like I didn't. It was not nothing big, no big size. I think on Tuesday I only did at most 500 shares. It's nothing crazy, and oh, and I think I used 5,000 shares, but that was only on TMP, and that was like at 19 cents. So the dollar amount for that was nothing huge. So really, you don't need size. It's like days like this when I'm taking size, I'm, you know, getting my butt handed to me, and and on
It's a double-edged sword.
yeah, and on Thursday I was actually up $300 and decided to take size, and after not taking size for the whole day, like I lost my whole gains for that day and then some. From taking size on, I think it was, yeah, it was this one.
Give me 1 second, bro. I gotta call you back.
But yeah, I mean, but that's really all I have for this here.
Yeah. I was just saying for me to find out what that. All that stuff. Because you download the app. Yeah. All right. Get your dumbbells. Right. I got my shoes right here. Am I using the app? Yeah, you're gonna use the app, but I'm about to show you what the